The doors to the Viridian Tea House are open once more. Hello everyone, back for another video. I've got some great books to talk about today, but before I begin, I do want to say that I've got several events coming up that people have been reaching out to me to be a vendor, and I've been saying yes. So when I receive more details, I'll let you know on my social media sites as well as Viridian Tea House, so stay tuned. But this year is going to be a busy year for me, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I mean, I already have returned to corporate, as you heard in my previous videos, and 2 weeks in, and I am loving my job, and I'm grateful to be there. And the tea and book side is building up as well. And in fact, I have an idea for a new novel. I won't even talk about it, not even the title, but I'm just really excited to delve into this other novel. So anyway, let's do this. So I've got 3 books, all written by women actually, and all 3 were fantastic in their own way. So let's get started. The first one is Glaciers by Alexis M. Smith. And I'd never heard of the author before, but thanks to Denver Public Library, and looks like Denver Public Library provided all 3 of these books for today. So many thanks to y'all. So glad to be a volunteer of DPL. But yes, I'd never heard of this author before, but I took a chance on it, and what a beautifully quiet, haunting book. Let me read the back of it for you. Isabel is a single 20-something in Portland, Oregon, who repairs damaged books in the basement of the local library, dreaming of a life she can't quite reach. She is filled with longing for a life in Amsterdam, even though she's never visited, for the unrequited love of a co-worker, for a simpler time from her childhood in Alaska among the threatened glaciers she loves, and for the perfect vintage dress to wear to a party that just might change everything. Unfolding over the course of a single day, Alexis M. Smith's shimmering debut finds Isabel looking into her past, remembering her parents' separation and a life-changing encounter with a glacier, and shows us how fleeting everyday moments can reveal an entire life. In classic movies, in old photographs, in unsent postcards, in rare books and thrifted gems, Glaciers tells the story of a young woman's love of the past and a hope to make something new and all her own. And about the author, her writing has appeared in Tarpaulin Sky, Moss, Portland Review, Bon Appetit, The Spokesman Review, and elsewhere. Her second novel, Marrow Island, is the winner of a Pacific Northwest Booksellers Association Award and a Lambda Literary Award. She lives in Spokane, Washington. So yes, this was over the course of a day. I didn't realize it. To be honest, I was so engrossed in the story that I didn't want it to end. You ever read a book and you just say, I just don't want it to end? Like you almost just want to start it all over again just to go through the experience one more time. That's how I felt with Glaciers. It was beautiful, it was powerful, and yes, about the fleeting moments in our lives that can change our life. You know, that one conversation you have with a person turns into a life-altering moment where you're moving to New Mexico or something like that. But it's those moments that are so precious and should be deemed as precious to us. And with Isabel, it was very obvious that those fleeting moments were good, and yet they also built up the longing, the desire to do these different things in her so-called humdrum life in Portland. But I love the characters, I love the story, just absolutely beautiful and exquisite. So Glaciers by Alexis M. Smith does receive 5 pots of excellent tea, and it really was an excellent read, and I would love to see if the library has their second book, and which in fact today I'm going to the library after this video, so maybe they'll have it. So many thanks to Alexis M. Smith and Denver Public Library for having Glaciers. What a deliciously beautiful novel. Thank you. The second book is by an author I'd never read before, but I just love that. I love discovering new authors in a library where, sometimes it doesn't work out. You get to page 30 and you're like, this isn't working for me. And then sometimes before you know it, an afternoon is gone and you're hugging the book to your chest saying, oh my God, just wow. And that's how I felt about Sleepless Night by Margriet de Moor. And yes, that is a bundt cake, and the bundt cake does play quite an important role with this book. So let me read the back of it for you. A woman gets up in the middle of a wintry night and starts baking a bundt cake while her lover sleeps upstairs. When it's time for her to take the cake out of the oven, we have read a tale of romance and death. The narrator of this novel was widowed years ago and is trying to find new passion. But the memory of her deceased husband and shameful incident still holds her in its grasp. Why did he do it? This masterful storyteller and one of Europe's foremost novelists recounts a gripping love story about endings and demise, rage and jealousy, knowledge and ambiguity, and the possibility of a fresh start. And about the author, she's had a career as a classical singer before making her fiction debut in 1988. She's written many novels, including The Virtuoso, The Kreutzer Sonata, and The Storm. Her work has been translated into 24 languages. And yes, over the course of one night, so just like Glaciers was one day, this was one night where a woman gets up, her lover that she meets at I think it was a restaurant or a bar, and she ends up making this cake. And all throughout the making and the baking process, you find out her story begins to unfold. And it's so riddled with darkness and, like it says, jealousy and passion that it counterbalances just the simple act of making a cake. And in fact, the last line of the book, time to take the bundt cake out of the oven. And I thought that was one of the perfect endings, one of the most perfect endings I've read in quite some time. But yes, this is another haunting, deliciously haunting literary work. And if you're into that kind of work where the entire novel takes in the place of a day or one night or something like that, Sleepless Night and also Glaciers are the kind of books for you. And this one does receive another 5 pots of excellent tea from Viridian Tea House. I really couldn't add anything more to the description on the back of the book, without ruining it, but it was absolutely a wonderful read, and I'm so glad that yet again I've been introduced to another author that I'd never heard of before. But I remember, like, by page 20 I was already doing book searches for her to see which library has her books, and I think I found a couple of books, but if not, then I will go to one of my many independent bookstores here in the Denver metro area and see if I can get a copy of some of her other works. So many thanks to the Denver Public Library and Margriet de Moor for having and writing this book. Thank you so much. I loved it, and I'll never look at bundt cake the same way again, quite honestly. And now the third book, not over the course of a day or a night, but still very hauntingly beautiful and passionate, and again by an author I'd never heard of before, but I said, I want to take a chance with this book. And this is The Margot Affair by Sanae Lemoine. And I love the cover, by the way. Let me read the dust jacket for you. Let's see. Quote unquote, there were so many of us, children of these double families who dreamed of the other side. Margot Louvre is a secret, the child of a long-standing affair between an influential French politician with presidential ambitions and a prominent stage actress. This hidden family exists in stolen moments in a small Parisian apartment on the left bank. It is a house of cards that Margot, fueled by a longing to be seen and heard, decides to tumble. The summer of her 17th birthday, she meets the man who will set her plan in motion, a well-regarded journalist whose trust seems surprisingly easy to gain. But as Margot is drawn into an adult world, she struggles to comprehend. She learns how one impulsive decision can threaten a family's love with ruin, shattering the lives of those around her in ways she could never have imagined. Exposing the seams between private lives and public faces, The Margot Affair is a novel of deceit, desire, and transgression, and the exhilarating knife edge upon which the danger of telling truth outweighs the cost of keeping secrets. And about the author, Sanae Lemoine was born in Paris to a Japanese mother and a French father and raised in France and Australia. She earned her undergraduate degree from the University of Pennsylvania and her MFA at Columbia University. She now lives in New York. So this is her debut novel. And I have to admit, this kind of Margot has just that last shred of naivete, which causes her to make the one choice, which causes the house of cards to fall down. And then she realizes who can you really trust? And she learns that lesson painfully. But just like with the other two books, beautifully written, exquisite, just a bare hint of darkness, and just that if you're older than Margot, I mean, she's 17 in this, you kind of nod your head going, well, I think that's a lesson you're gonna remember for quite some time. The only thing I didn't care about this book was that it was just a little bit drawn out, just a little bit too much. But other than that, I loved the story. I loved how the characters come to life and you feel sorry for Margot and her mother, Anouk. And then when you see the other side of her father, his other life, the one that is in the limelight, you really do feel sorry for Margot. And I'm not gonna say you will if you read it, but for me, when she makes her act, I thought, okay, I get it. I get why you're doing this. You want to feel, you want to be seen. And you can only stay hidden for so long, but you want to be seen. I get it. I may not do it, but I get it. But yeah, aside from the fact that this is just a little bit drawn out too much, another powerhouse book that is just beautiful and quiet and yet packs such an emotional punch. And plus, I love French literature, so yeah, of course I'm gonna love this. But The Margot Affair does receive 4 pots of very good tea from Viridian Tea House. And the only reason why I didn't give it a 5 was that it was just a teensy bit drawn out. And I just was like, okay. And just when I'm starting to get a little bit frustrated, then it really picks up and you're like, okay. And then before you know it, the story's over, and it's a beautiful story, but it's tragic too. So many thanks to Sanae Lemoine and also Margriet de Moor and also Alexis M. Smith for their wonderful books that you can find at your local library or through your independent bookstore. So check these out today. So my tea for the day is a lovely herbal tisane by the wonderful folks at Celestial Seasonings. This is Country Peach Passion. And the ingredients, let's see what we got. So it's orange peel, rose hips, hawthorn, chamomile, peach flavor, blackberry leaves, hibiscus, and dried peaches. And I have to admit that when I put the water in with the bag, I took a deep sniff, and the smell of peaches just makes me think of the peaches that are grown here, Palisade, I think it's Palisade. I've never known peaches to be that juicy. Like, in all of my years, I thought peaches, Georgia, okay, Georgia, I get it. But the peaches out here in Colorado, no wonder when the season comes up, people are buying them by like the bagfuls. And when I tried my first Palisade peach, I was like, wow, I want these peaches every freaking day. So that's what this tea reminds me of, that the peach season is coming with the farmer's market season, and I'm just looking forward to it. Plus, it's a nice herbal tisane that you can drink any time of the day. So from me to you in my lovely spring Snoopy mug, a little bit of country peach passion. Oh, my nose and my mouth are overwhelmed with peaches, and as soon as I lowered my face to the mug, the peach smell just enveloped me. Oh, that's so delicious. And you don't even really need sugar, quite honestly. This is good all on its own. Oh, that's so exquisite. That's wonderful. And I actually make a picture of this iced for my boyfriend. So you can enjoy this both hot or iced. So now, before I send you off into your corners of the world, let's do a water or tea meditation. You know the drill. I'm not going to go through it. If you're ready, let's begin. And now let's end this breathing meditation with a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Slowly open your eyes or allow your eyes to come back into focus. And now let's have a sip of your water or tea. I'm so ready for peaches. I really am. So that's all I have for today. Many thanks to Denver Public Library for having these wonderful books, and to the 3 amazing women authors who wrote these books. I am empowered by these words for my own words. And to the good folks at Celestial Seasonings, my God, I don't think I've ever had a bad cup of tea from Celestial Seasonings. Yeah, I don't think I ever have. I don't think there's a tea company out there, maybe a couple, but I really doubt it. How can you screw up tea? Tea is more than just hot water with leaves. It's a beautiful experience. It's a way to calm down. It's a way to slightly sharpen your focus. It's a way to be fully present. It's a way to spend time with friends, spend time by yourself. I mean, it's amazing that this little cup of Snoopy tea has so much going on for it. So many thanks to Celestial Seasonings for just making incredible, incredible blends. And finally, for all of y'all for watching these videos, thank you. I'm trying to keep up with them as I get deeper into my new job, but I love to read, I love to talk about tea, and I love to share it with all of you guys. And I've noticed that every time I upload a video and I look and see, you know, oh, has anybody looked at these videos? And people are looking at them, you know, and I'm grateful. Even if one person just looks at the video, I'm grateful. So from the bottom of my tea-stained heart, thank you so much for watching these videos. I truly do appreciate it. And I've said this before, I haven't said it in a while, but if you're a published author, if you are a tea person, if you are just a person with a cool hobby and you would like to be on Viridian Tea House in a future video, please reach out to me. You know, I would love to connect. You know, I do all this stuff by myself, but it's really nice to kind of bring on somebody else or interview somebody else. So please reach out. I would love to connect with you. So on that note, take care of yourself and each other. Raise your Snoopy mug high, and remember that to drink tea is to enjoy life. I will see y'all really soon, or maybe in a library. Bye for now.